even though Carl was not born in Willingboro, and chances are he may not be with us on his last day, we consider him to be our native son. But come on up, Carl. I just want to tell you that we're so proud of everything that you've done in Willingboro, for our youth, done for the state, done for the Democrats, done for the United States, done for the world. We're proud of you. We all claim you. We all love you. Thank you so much for representing us.
Because, you know, it's really a funny thing. I've been kind of around the world, and I've met all kinds of people. And when I come back home to New Jersey, place where I lived and grew up, and have tons of friends, spend a lot of time, I bring that attitude or that energy that I get back to my hometown. Jackie, why this is really special, because when I moved back here 6 years ago now, one of the first things I did is I reached out to some people that I knew because I wanted to do something in our community. And what's really exciting is that, you know, Jackie Jennings was at that meeting. We talked about doing things for the youth. It was with just a few months of being here. And Chris Walker, who's running for City Council in Willingboro, Reva was there, Foster. And these are people that stood up for their community at that time because it's so important to me. You know, I often tell people time is very important to me. You know, they say, gosh, so I don't think that you can just understand how important time is. Because one of the things I say all the time, if I was 10 seconds late, you wouldn't know me. 1 second of race and I lost every one of them. And so the reason I say it about time is because now is the time. Now's not the time to back down. Now is the time to stand up. Look how our world is changing. It's changing around us. Just this week I was in Belgrade, and Serbia, and I sat down with the Prime Minister of the country. And we just had a conversation about our country and what's going on here. And when you look at it, you know, people ask me, and I say I'm from New Jersey, and, you know, they'll have all different kinds of things to say. And, you know, it was interesting when you were talking about, you know, our present governor. And it really, when I look at the situation from inside and outside of the state, it frustrates me. It frustrates me because how can we have a state where we do have issues and it's not the topic of conversation? You know, New Jersey is one of the highest states of people leaving as opposed to coming. The governor will talk about that. Why? We're talking about issues where we have to get people inspired to take their own state on and to make sacrifices in their community. And it starts with just the small things. Expectation, cultures of mediocrity, not thinking of excellence. That's what we have to start with our young people in our communities. We can't just complain about high taxes and then refuse to do anything about it. We have to come up with solutions in these communities. So I see it, you all see it. And I'm one of the things I'm very, very proud to be a Democrat because of the issues that were held. And so when I started to run, two really interesting things happened. Number one, everyone says, oh, why are you running as a Democrat in that community? A Democrat hasn't won in forever, you know. And to me, it was the core values. And a lot of people go and say, you may be angry at your community. I'm not really angry at my community, or I'm not difficult or challenging my community. I just realize that's where I am, and that's what needs to be changed. You know, a lot of times people just go and say, and this is why I really admire what Barbara's doing, because a lot of people say, oh, the governor is so popular, his approval ratings are high, and everything's going. Well, you know what? I don't remember a time when people said you're supposed to go when the race is easy. You're supposed to go when the race is hard. And when people are going saying, how can you take on that challenge in your district? I said, look, I put USA on my chest and beat the Russians. I can take care of District 8. So you know, through that whole process, I learned so much, and it was a great process. And some people may think, oh, he's so angry about it. There was nothing bad about that process. I learned a lot about the system. I grew as a person. What can you imagine knocking on people's doors and hearing their thoughts and feelings, and some of them were hurting and some of them were happy, and some of them said, I cheered for you, and some of them said, your mother taught me. It was a joyous time for me. But I knew it was going to be a challenge because of the day I made my announcement, the governor called me and said, I'm going to do anything I can to get you out of the race. And you know what I told him? He says, no offense. I said, no offense, Governor. Actually, I said Chris, because if you're going to pick a fight, I'm going to call you by your first name. And I said, no offense. And he's like, well, I'm going to get you. And I said, let me tell you something. Young man, I'm an athlete, okay? We used to go out and get in the trenches and fight very hard and race. And then I'd go out and I'd buy the first beer, you know? So I have no problem with that. So what I went through was a great thing for me. But it also showed me what we can do. Because in that process, I felt inspired, and I felt the inspiration from the people in the community that heard a voice that they've been waiting for in that community, telling me, we have someone that we can do it, we can win this. So don't back down. Now is the time, again, to fight. The time to speak on the issues. The time to tell the people what we really need for the state of New Jersey, and not just make it a photo op. Now, you said that the governor wants to run for president one day. He'll never be president. Where's the camera? He will never be president. I know timing, and you've already peaked. I'm looking at this camera. You've already peaked. And thank you for helping the president when it happened. But I just want to close by saying, and you know, a lot of you know that I bought a home in Houston because it's too cold. I can't deal with this. My blood's too thin. But that doesn't mean I'm going anywhere. Because we still are going to fight in our community. We're still going to try to improve the schools. We're still going to help the programs. None of that's going to change. And we'll still be here to help anyone, because New Jersey, no matter what, is where I'm from. It's what made me. It's who I became. And everything about me happened because of my time growing up here in New Jersey. And that'll never change. And for those who, whenever people say, oh, you're not from here, you shouldn't have been there, that's okay. Because I look at my New Jersey Hall of Fame that Chris Christie gave me, his hand to my hand, and I just go and say, I feel good no matter what you say. Thank you very much.